Do you struggle with dunking the basketball? Do you even struggle with jumping over tiny household objects?
I want to dunk, but I can't even jump over this straw.
Well, luckily we can help you out. Do you want to know the secret to actually increasing your vertical the easy way? Want to do away with all the extra hassle of putting in the work or doing what is actually necessary to improve your strength and conditioning? Well, come on in. We will convince you to buy our products by employing scammy business practices, creating FOMO, and doing eye-pleasing tests with zero scientific backing to make you believe that our product actually works.
Shut up and take my money.
Whoa there, buddy. Don't go shelling out your hard-earned cash just yet. That was just a skit. It wasn't even a real infomercial, regardless of how convincing it actually was. I know we've all had this experience at least once in our lives. Heck, I remember it like it was yesterday. It's a Saturday morning. You get woken up by your mom sweeping the dishes and vacuuming the toaster. You've got your awesome, cool Nintendo 64 sitting in the corner right next to the Sega Dreamcast that's just collecting dust because it never really got the games that come out for it like I thought it should, even though I thought it was actually the coolest. Everything is as it should be on this weekend off from school, except for the fact that you still can't 360 windmill dunk and you're already in the 3rd grade. Luckily, the new East Bay magazine just came in and brother, do they have just the answer. Standing at a whopping 23 pounds and 8 ounces, they look like giant Legos, they weigh as much as a flat screen TV, and if you're caught wearing them, you'll lose 17 cool points. It's Jump Soles. The cooler, sleeker, much more futuristic version that you put on like normal sneakers, and you're guaranteed to trip over every single elevated surface in your home. They even come with a laminated workout card. It's strength shoes. And last but not least, okay, they're probably least because who are we kidding? These things look like pure garbage. Honestly, just steaming piles of They're fit boots. Ah, the good old days. Yes, these are real products, believe it or not. I actually owned a pair of both the jump soles and the strength shoes. They both even helped me increase my vertical slightly. However, the most significant increase I ever saw in my explosiveness and athleticism over my career, it was just by doing weights, running stairs, doing plyos, just the basics. Studies even show increased rate of injury when using products like these, and generally they just recommend doing the same sets of exercises without the shoes. So today I wanted to talk about the current state of basketball products just like these. Overpriced, misleading gimmicks that promise to make drastic improvements to your game and athleticism that almost certainly seem way too good to be true. And with that being said, Victory insoles. What the f***? I've been getting advertisements for these carbon fiber insoles pretty much everywhere that I scroll online. Influencers doing sponsored videos for them and reviews and testimonies all about how incredible these insoles are for making you jump higher. First of all, my kneecaps don't work anymore, so I don't know why you guys think I'm your target audience. Secondly,
shame on you.
If there was ever a poster child for shady advertising, it would be Victory insoles. These literally are 2025's version of jump soles, except they're crammed into a singular carbon fiber plate. You've most likely seen people on TikTok advertising these by bending the shoe, holding it on the ground, and it springs up into the air. Or where the guy is holding the insole with his hand and bending it and then it slaps against his arm. I don't know what any of that means, but it looks cool, just not $150 cool. And the fact that there's no scientific foundation for how it's gonna transfer all of that arm slap energy into an actual jump. Because I'm no physiology major, but I'm almost guarantee you that that's not how a foot's supposed to bend. And if the elasticity of a shoe or insole is what actually made people jump higher, can you even begin to imagine what kind of hops SpongeBob would have rocking these bad boys? But basically, these flashy sales tactics are meant to elicit an emotional response, to make you feel like you need this product. I mean, just take a look at some of these claims. Instantly, a 1.6 inch higher vertical, 0.12 seconds faster 40-yard dash, and 41% less foot injuries. Yeah, all of this sounds nice, but compared to what? I've always hated arbitrary stats like these. Toothpaste commercials do this all the time with the 4 out of 5 doctors recommend thing. Is that 4 out of every 5 doctors or 4 out of just the 5 doctors you happen to ask? And you'll also notice that there's an asterisk just before those stats, which if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page says this: statistics quoted are average results from independent studies. Hey Victory, mind posting one of them there studies? Of course not. It's all buzzwords and flash. Oddly enough, if you actually do look up any scientific studies done on these insoles, you'll actually find that there are no real differences in athletes using carbon fiber insoles, especially when they're measuring for using force plates that actually measure the amount of force you can apply to the ground. The only official study that I could find that showed anything about carbon fiber insoles having improved numbers for athletes even states that the insoles were most likely a placebo effect, that only the athletes that knew they had the carbon fiber insoles actually performed better, but the 2 control groups stayed the same. Meaning, if you believe they work, then they work. Look good, feel good, play good, right? Maybe it is worth it to go buy a pair after all for a whopping
$150.
Brother, am I buying insoles or paying for 1 month's worth of NBA League Pass? If you have over $100 to spend and you just want to buy them anyways, go ahead, feel free. They even have a 90-day money-back guarantee, but please do not let these influencers make you think that this is the missing piece that you're lacking to get your 40-inch vertical. He starts his video here saying it's not a sponsored video and it's an unbiased review. But then he has a referral link in the description for 20% off. This again, it's incredibly misleading. It obviously isn't an unbiased review if the influencer is profiting off the product that they're trying to showcase. Like I spoke about in our previous video, sponsors or affiliate links aren't an issue all on their own. But when it comes to products that promise increased athletic performance or physical enhancers with little to no scientific backing, it becomes extremely predatory and disingenuous, especially when it's targeted at a younger audience. This is one massive red flag to look for, and one of the main ways influencers implement shady car salesman tactics to sell you magical beans. Good friend of the channel, Coach P, sells promises just like this.
I spent a year testing the weirdest ways to grow taller.
The secret that young players have always wanted to know: how to grow taller. Again, we've briefly mentioned him before, but anyone trying to sell you the secrets or products that will help you grow taller is almost always going to be complete garbage. That's why any type of growth supplement program promising to increase your height is almost always a scam. If you do have genuine concerns about your height, please speak to your doctor or physician before feeling like you need to go online and order growth increasing products. There's way too many of them here to name, but companies like True Height, they'll claim to increase the amount of collagen X in your body by 43.9%, which they then state translates to enhanced growth rates. The reason I find these types of claims incredibly disingenuous is because all of their data can conveniently only be tested at the stage at which a normal child typically grows anyways, so 5 to 18 years old. So a parent will likely see increases to their child's growth while they're taking this product, because that's what children do. They grow. Like most things, your height is determined largely by your genetics, and there are infinite amount of studies that show very little ability to affect your growth outside of getting enough sleep and eating the right amount of nutrients. Even then, the effects are minimal at best. If your genetics are wanting you to be 6'2", no amount of magnesium is going to push you to be 6'5". The supplement industry is almost single-handedly propped up by FOMO, or the fear of missing out. The only supplements that I really recommend to young athletes is a good protein, a whey protein, if you don't feel like you're getting enough in your diet, a weight gainer if you're having trouble keeping weight on because of your metabolism or just how often you're running around. And lastly, for the hardcore athletes, creatine. Basically, it's just going to help you get a couple more reps with your workout workouts and helps with water retention. Even those aren't really necessary. None of these supplements are a replacement for the hard work, however, they are just for supplementary use. So that's why they're called sup. Basically, always be aware of people that are telling you you need a specific nutrient or a pill or vitamin to help you grow taller or put on more muscle. Very rarely is the answer to increased athletic performance or genetics something as simple as just eat this thing. I remember back in college, we had this sales rep come in and talk to the basketball team. He was trying to sell us this mysteriously magical product that was going to enhance our athletic performance. It was going to boost our amount of sleep that we got each night and overall keep us hydrated. It was water. More specifically, it was smart water. He asked our point guard to come up in front of the group and bend over and touch his toes. Just like most basketball players, he barely got past his knees. But then the sales rep had him take a sip of the smart water and then try again 2 more times. Each time, not surprisingly, he actually got a little bit further and further. This just proves that the smart water helped push him past his athletic limitations, right? Well, other than the fact that this is typically what happens when you stretch multiple times in a row. That's why it's called stretching. Worst part is, like 5 of my teammates were blown away by this revolutionary technology. They all went and purchased multiple cases. Yeah, don't reach out to those guys for financial investment advice, by the way. It just baffles me that someone can try and sell you a product using a sales technique that they know is total horse, all because the product doesn't actually do what it says. How are people okay with this? In fact, this same sales tactic was used back in the day by a company called Power Balance. They sold a very mysterious and magical band that had hologram technology and was specifically charged with ions to radiate through your body. These bands were extremely popular back in the 2000s. They were worn by athletes, actors, movie stars, even presidents, all under the guise that they had some mysterious health benefits due to their incredibly misleading advertising. Power Balance bands did this by word of mouth, personal testimonies, and mainly using its gimmicky demonstrations and tests. Unlike smart water, instead of having the person bend over to touch their toes, they rotate sideways at the waist to see how far they can reach behind them. Another one here was having someone arbitrarily push down on your arm while you tried to balance, with and without the band. It's important to do multiple tests to get proper results after all. Anyways, this band is trash. Does absolutely nothing. There's even an entire subreddit where a former employee talks about all the scammy ways that he was taught to sell to his customers. What? So apparently Blake Griffin jumping over the car in the dunk contest? You're telling me it was actually his workout routine and incredible genetics and not the Power Balance band that gave him his hops? Yeah. Okay. These were also worn by Lamar Odom back in the day when he played for the Lakers. And as we know, Lamar makes awesome and really good decisions all of the time. So if he believes they work, they must work. Enter in the many scientific studies that were done and found the results were merely placebo effects with no scientific efficacy whatsoever. Jeez. Victory insoles much? But if you need another reason to hate this company even more, just know that Diddy used to wear these bracelets. So if you support power bands, you support the Diddy. Australia even cracked down on Power Balance back in the day, making them state that their claims weren't factually based and that they committed fraudulent advertising. This company still makes and sells these bands today. Go figure. Needless to say, absurd business tactics and predatory marketing, it's not new, but there's always a new generation of customers that's extremely vulnerable to word salads and meaningless slogans. Our mission is to reinvent the DNA. Fight active is derived from the Greek letter phi and the exponent technology 10 and symbolizes our products are widely to maximize the perfect balance found in the natural world and the general public. What the f is this saying? Hey Alexa, make a company tagline that uses the words technology, products, and athletes, but do it as randomly as possible and make sure it doesn't really say anything at all. Welcome in Phyton's Aqua Metal Technologically Advanced Tornado Titanium Bracelet. Power Balance band's probably over there punching the air right now. Anyways, Phyton necklaces are basically the Power Balance band's cooler older brother. If that older brother liked selling useless products, have zero scientific backing, but was actually smart enough not to make any real claims on their website so that they can't be sued or held liable for lying lying about what it is their product actually does. I mean, look at this sentence here on their About Us page. Since our founding in 1983, we have launched a large number of body care products under the policy of, quotation, quotation, everything we do it for your health. End quotes, period, end quotes. How many quotations does one sentence need? They aren't technically saying that they make products that are better for your health. They're just saying that they have launched products under the policy of everything we do it for your health. Red flag number 258. If a company has tons of convoluted descriptions, overly complicated mission statements, and a general lack of clarity in their messaging, it's probably a scam. I honestly don't know how companies are legally allowed to tiptoe the line of misleading their customers, but hey, that's capitalism, baby.
I didn't say that our product would literally help people perform better.
Well, your tagline says exactly that. I'm reading it right now.
No. We used double quotation marks, meaning we were just quoting ourselves, previously stating that our products will literally help you perform better.
Isn't that just the same thing?
Legally, no.
The funny thing is, we move more towards this being normalized every single day. If you're vague enough, you never truly have to say anything. Look, I don't feel like doing a deep dive into every single scammy company, but what I will do is speedrun a couple products and examples that basketball players don't need for old time's sake. First up, basketballs. Do not fall for the overpriced gimmick basketballs like the Infusion that has its own miniature pump inside of it. They usually perform far worse than a normal basketball, but it costs way more for literally no reason. I owned one of these back in the day, and then every time you bounced it and it would land on the little plastic part, it just wouldn't bounce back up because it's plastic. Also, I always felt like a loser pumping these up in public. There's just literally no way to pump up an Infusion basketball and not look awkward. Basically, any basketball that's not selling you on its ability to be spherical and bounce, it's probably a scam. They're basketballs. They're round and they bounce. How much more innovation do we need? Next, we have gloves. Gloves of any kind, really. We've got these weighted gloves that I guess they claim to make your hands faster if you train with them. We've got these gloves that make your guide hand stay straight on your jump shot. We even have these gloves that are anti-slip. I guess they're meant to take your grip away so that when you take the gloves off, it'll be easier to bounce the ball or something. I don't know. But I love the description here. It says basketball training aid or driving. Pro tip, if you ever find yourself trying to buy gloves for basketball, play football. Ooh, the D slides. These are just glorified resistance bands that look more expensive and far less versatile than actual resistance bands. Resistance bands are a great tool for athletes. If you have a good quality one, you can get tons of use out of them. So I'm not really sure how much use you can actually get out of these D slides other than just doing defensive slides. Also, I find it funny that Spencer Dinwiddie is your sponsored athlete. Not like Dyson Daniels or Ben Wallace or someone like that. That's like having Jeff Van Gundy be the face of a self-defense course or something. Basketball dribbling goggles. I've always found these funny because you can just like not look down at the ball. No purchase of goggles needed. Also, using your peripheral vision for dribbling and in basketball in general, just super important. So buying something that prohibits that, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The rebound practice machine and shooting form machine. If you think either of these machines are what your training is missing, then you're an extreme overthinker and you just have way too much time on your hands. I personally think if you could sell one of these to a kid with a straight face, you should never be allowed around sports again. Also, this weird hand device that you put over your face, it's supposed to make it where you're practicing making tough shots. The only problem with it is you're practicing shooting tough shots. I don't know if that's what we should be training. We should be training to get open shots, but if you got to tape a piece of plastic hand over your face, you're doing something wrong. Also, can't you just like make your own, like to tape a piece of cardboard there or something? Lastly, just any clothing that you see players wear, shooting sleeves, wristbands, undershirts, compression shorts, wearing them for fashion or swag, as the kids say. The kids still saying that. That's perfectly fine to do, but thinking they'll actually make you perform better or run faster, that's just not how this works. This isn't 2K where you get a +2 to your shooting because of your arm sleeve. Though I wish it were. Whew, we did it. And that's honestly how I feel about most basketball products. Really, you should just be spending your money on good quality basketballs and good quality shoes. Other than that, maybe a basketball goal to put in your driveway if that's something you want to do, but I think just keeping it to the basics is extremely important. As the late great artist formerly known as Prince used to say, if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. There is no such thing as an instant win button or a quick fix when it comes to things that are so incredibly sought after, like growing taller, gaining muscle, losing weight, or jumping higher. If there were, then everyone would have it. But that doesn't stop everyday people from falling into this trap. You guys all know my absolute disdain for scammers and predatory marketing, but when it's targeting young people and their desires to better themselves or preying on their insecurities, to me that's just absolutely unacceptable. And to all you scam apologists out there saying things like,
if you don't like the product, then you just don't have to buy it. People can choose to do whatever they want with their own money.
listen here, bozos. Scammers and con artists can be successful and continue taking advantage of people precisely because others choose not to speak up or say anything. That's why I'm always calling out bad faith influencers and snake oil salesmen, because contrary to popular belief, I too was a kid at one point. I know, but it's true. I was willing to do whatever it took to add 4 inches to my height or gain bigger muscles or, last but not least, increase my vertical. That's why I bought the Air Alert program and some other program that I bought online for $40. And when I paid online, they just sent me a PDF. And when I downloaded it, it was basically just to do box jumps and calf raises. I had the jump soles that we spoke about in the intro. And when they barely increased my vertical, I went and purchased the strength shoes as well. I spent tons of money, wasted hundreds of hours of my time, all because I wanted to improve myself athletically, but I just didn't know where to turn. I didn't know it at the time, but these adult salesmen had no actual intention of helping me improve as a basketball player, but instead to bleed me dry of all my lawn mowing money that I'd saved up over the summer. Well, now that I'm an adult and I've had a full basketball career and now I'm a semi-successful YouTuber, I've just got one thing to say to all you adults that tried to take advantage of 13-year-old me. Look at me now, you big meanie faces. All jokes aside, I always told myself that if I was ever in a position of authority, that I would do everything that I could to make sure other young players didn't fall into the same traps that I did. And that I would also be the positive influence or the teacher that I always wanted to have. Personally, if I could go back and tell 12-year-old me to stop wasting my time and money and energy into these programs and products and just go improve the old-fashioned way, I would do that. And also would tell myself to not invest in the Hawk Tua meme coin. But hindsight's 20/20, right? At the end of the day, athleticism, like most things, is largely genetic. So if you see a product or a program that's offering you a quick and easy solution, it's more than likely
Hot garbage.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that there's nothing you can do to increase your athleticism. It just means that there's no secret sauce and it's probably not going to be quick or easy. It takes tons of hard work over a long period of time, and you're likely not going to see very much improvement from week to week. The same goes for skill development and acquisition. You're not going to become better just because you bought some knockoff mood bracelet, nor will you be able to do the perfect wheel pose because Bugs Bunny gave you Michael's secret stuff from Space Jam. Like most things we talk about on this channel, basketball is as simple as you want to make it. If you want to understand the game at a deeper level, I encourage you to go check out some of the other videos that we've done on this channel. If you want to increase your athletic performance, there are tons of creators out there that are offering extremely valuable information. Especially for all my beginners out there, you shouldn't need to spend any money to get started on your journey. PJF Performance, Nathaniel Morton, Movers Odyssey, those are just three of the channels that I highly recommend that you begin to build your base knowledge from. Again, highly recommend that you soak up all of the free knowledge and information first before feeling like you need to sign up to any programs or masterclasses. Stop buying gimmicky products and listening to wacko influencers, including me. I still get people asking me all the time if there's a program that they can buy or if I can draw up a personal training plan for them. While I am flattered, the goal of this channel is to teach all of you young hoopers out there how to think and how to become your own coach. No amount of money you spend will ever just replace getting to the nitty-gritty and just putting in the work. The more knowledge you can gain and the more hard work you can put in, then the more control that you're going to have over your personal basketball journey. I'd like to thank all the Patreon members and the YouTube members for keeping this channel going. All of you allow me to keep offering as much of my basketball knowledge as I can for free to all the young hoopers out there who may not be able to afford it. I also want to thank everyone that stuck around to the end of the video and those of you who subscribed. We started this channel just last year and we're already up over 16,000 subscribers, which is mind-blowing to me. So again, I appreciate you. I can't thank you all enough for the support and everything you've done for this channel, but yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.